We acknowledge the land on which we gather, exchange ideas, and share our past, present, and future is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat people. Have you ever visited a cemetery and wondered what stories it might be hiding? Sometimes there are family burial plots in cemeteries, which makes sense as many families would stay local and be buried together. In the case of the Mallocks, the generations of the family date back to the 18th century. This impressive cairn behind me was commissioned by Dr. Archibald "Archie" Malloch to honor the deceased members of his family. Archie Malloch lived from 1844 to 1919, and there are some sources that say that the cairn was erected around 1896. The cairn was constructed by Mason Archibald Henry Davidson. In about 1989, the cairn had fallen into a state of deterioration, and the cemetery board had it rebuilt. And the masons who worked on the project are Sid de Schiffert and Jerry Vikamp. It was rather a feat because the marker was made without mortar, essentially balancing stones on top of one another in a certain way so they remain structurally sound. The cairn is a typical Scottish marker, usually reflecting a burial mound, but the cairn itself is not unique to Scotland, but it was a way for the Scots to memorialize their homeland. So we'll talk a little bit about Judge George Malloch, who is buried here. He was the original owner of Malloch House on the corner of Water and Broad Streets. George Malloch was a respectable judge. In 1861, it was reported on the census at the age of 64, he had acquired about $110,000 in capital, which is about $3.7 million today. He employed a man and 2 women in his office. Malloch's property, known to local Brockvillians as Malloch's Grove, became the site of St. Lawrence Park today. Archibald Malloch grew up in Brockville, and he attended university in Kingston in Scotland for his medical degree, and he soon set up a practice in Hamilton. And Archibald's son, George Stewart Malloch, died in a 1913 Arctic expedition. Although many of the Mallochs moved to Hamilton, the family seat was in Brockville, hence the cairn and hence the family burial plots. You can go and see the Malloch cairn by visiting the Old Protestant Cemetery in Brockville. See you next time.